All right, guys, here we go. This is going to be the third and final game here in this best-of-3 series between TSL Killer and DieStar, tied up 1-1. Our third and final map here is going to be Tal'Darim Altar. We can see spawning in the lower left position TSL Killer as our blue Protoss player, and in the upper left is DieStar, the red Terran player. Been a pretty interesting series so far. Relatively short games, but entertaining nonetheless. Last game, Killer, which is some very nice counter harass, and really the biggest thing, in all honesty, was when DieStar got caught unsieged by the Charge Zealots and Blink Stalkers. That was really what did it and put Killer in pretty much the lead and allowed him to win that game. And then, Killer just stayed on two bases. As soon as DieStar tried to expand, he pushed out again, and that was that. Just completely overwhelmed, nothing that he could really do. So here we go, the third game. Looking forward to see how this one plays out. As mentioned at the start of this series, both players here absolutely phenomenal, and it's really showed. Even though they've been, again, relatively short, they have been very entertaining games. Fun to cast and hopefully fun to watch as well. Pylon is down right now. Last game we did see Killer go for that 15 Nexus, so let's see if he tries to do something funny like that again this game. Now this is again an example of another map, fairly large, so it's not the scariest of things to go for an expansion that early on in the game, but still always risky. You always have to be concerned about a strong timing push. I mean, in all honesty, DieStar did move out with that very strong Marine Tank Raven push, and he did take out the expansion, but still, a push that was a little bit earlier could have been a little more devastating. And look at that, Killer will be coming out again with that fast Nexus, so 2 games in a row, maybe just feeling pretty comfortable with the outcome of last game, deciding I'll do it again. I'll 15 Nexus and see if I can pull it off once more. All right, so let's see if Killer's able to get this up and defend himself at the same time. Back over here for DieStar, looking fairly standard. We've got a Marine here. We'll be heading right on out to the front of that natural expansion entrance over here as soon as he does pop out of that racks. And the Refiner just coming through. Should be seeing that second depot. There it is. So everything looking pretty standard. We do have that Scout moving out right now, the Probe Scout for Killer. And the SCV, is he spotting? He spots the expansion. What is he going to do? That SCV looks like he's up to trickery, and yes, he is. Coming down with that bunker right now. Now, we do have a probe, a little bit worried about that guy, checking it out, and there we go, fully spotting this right now. DieStar will be forced to stop building that. We've got a first Marine heading across the map. Here comes a second Marine as well. SCV moving out, and actually that Marine will be turning around to engage over here. We've got a factory being placed down, and it looks like the early aggression has been taken care of. Wow, that SCV just weaving his way through those workers, and does he finish the building of this? Oh, no, he doesn't. He manages to actually, unfortunately, get stopped at the very last moment, so he's going to be forced to cancel that. Marine heading back, trying to do a little bit of damage. Does need to be careful, though. That worker is faster, so they could actually pull down and kill him off, but still there'd be a lot of no mining time for DieStar, so I don't think he's going to do that. I don't expect him to. We do have a few more Marines streaming across the map. Here comes that factory. That is just about finished. Reactor going down on that racks as well, and we'll just be moving out with a little bit of Marine aggression, but no, deciding to pull him back home, and what happened to my camera there? So this Marine heading back home, will he sit at the Xel'Naga Tower, or is he just going to go all the way back? It looks like that Marine's going back. This one's situated over here as well. We've got a Zealot moving across right now, so that will be used to engage these Marines, and if we see some proper micro, DieStar should be okay. We've got a tech lab coming down on the factory, and again, there is that reactor on that racks, and here comes another racks as well. A little bit of different opening than we saw last game. He is sitting on double refinery, so we'll be going Vespian heavy nonetheless. Looks like we'll be seeing some siege tanks coming on through, and here we go. Zealot trying to engage right now. Marines doing what they can to micro, taking a couple shots. Actually very difficult to micro away from the Zealot without taking any losses. Forced actually to come down with some SCVs to help out those Marines, and that is enough to push that Zealot back right now. We've got a Stalker coming on through. It's going to be a little while before it's anywhere near the front of DieStar's base. So here we go, tank push coming out with the reactor. This will be a timing push as well, just a little bit different. This is just going to be a Marine tank push, probably throwing in some SCVs into the mix as well, but he's sticking on the one base for now, and he's going to be going for a big strong push early on in the game, and let's see how much damage he can do. You may say, what about that siege tech force? Something you may not realize, siege tanks without tech, still very strong, especially early game. The DPS is very, very high unsieged. And what this allows them to do, you can even take a look, versus armored right there, 25. You can just tear through stalkers. So that's why those tanks will be effective this early in the game. While target firing those stalkers, they rip them apart, and then you use that strong DPS of those Marines to try to take out the sentries and the zealots as well. So it looks like we'll be seeing a push. He is coming out with that siege tech nonetheless. So again, I mentioned something like that, and it ends up not coming into fruition. But it is a push that's possible, and it can be effective as well. Just keep that in mind. But the siege tech obviously adding a little more versatility to those tanks, and we'll be again churning out these double marines, coming out with these siege tanks, and that siege tech's just about finished. So we should be seeing the push coming very shortly right now for DieStar. So DieStar moving out with the timing push. This will be the same kind of situation as last game. How will Killer be able to respond? Defending his expansion will be difficult because he has invested so many resources into those extra workers for that expansion, as well as the Nexus and that assimilator as well. So will be a little difficult. Will be sitting though on 5 gateways. He's got that robo coming on through. I'm not sure that he has any idea of what's coming though. Doesn't look like it. I mean, he saw the second racks and he saw that factory. He's got that blink research coming. This almost looks like a repeat of last game, minus that Banshee as well as that Raven. It could be very interesting to see again how Killer's able to defend himself. It's really going to come down to, again, if he can defend and protect himself from losing this expansion, then he's got a clear, distinct advantage. But that's going to be difficult. But look how strong is that. Oh, that is like half of those SCVs. That's a lot of SCVs moving down right now for DieStar. There's a scan of the high ground. Here comes that push, and the tanks sieging up right now. They are within range of the Nexus, and with some vision of the high ground, that is all they need. Unsieging too. He wants to keep pushing. He wants to be as aggressive as possible. He will take out this expansion. At this point in the time, Killer does not have enough to deal with this. It's the same situation though. He's got those blink stalkers. So will he try to move out for a counterattack? Is he going to try to do that, or is he going to be stuck here defending? It looks like that Nexus is a goner. Nothing he can do. We've got some more blink stalkers coming into play, and let's see how this one pans out right now. He needs to be very careful. Can't walk into that siege fire. Needs to pull back. Taking one shot there. Not actually fully getting worked out. Now, again, DieStar, if he can just keep this up, if he can siege and stay outside the base, he could actually be in an absolutely phenomenal position, getting ready to push forward with those SCVs as well as those Marines. Microing back away from those Zealots and that high DPS tearing through them with that siege fire support right now. The Blink Stalker's doing a little bit of micro, trying to stay back, and he's pushing back these Marines right now. Those Blink Stalkers doing a decent job, but that Marine fire plus those tanks tearing through those Stalkers. Losing that expansion was devastating. He's got very little resources right now. Reinforcements are hard to come by at this point just because he cannot afford them. Looks like he will be losing this one warp gate. He's still sitting on 4 though. We got some more reinforcements. Those Blink Stalkers being high utility units, but I don't think it's enough right now. This fire is just way too heavy. That artillery there from those tanks, plus those Marines just shelling out on his base. He's doing what he can to get up those numbers. Now, he can try to snipe off those Marines as long as he stays out of the way of that siege fire. There we go. Tanks on siege. And is he going to be able to push on up? And it doesn't really matter because even with those unsieged tanks, as mentioned prior, the DPS against armored is very high. And the slow push inside of DieStar's base. And he's unpowered right now. He's just got these 2 warp gates. He's forced to push forward with these workers to engage, trying to get us around right now on all of those Marines, and he's doing what he can, forcing splash damage against Marines. He finishes off the rest of those Marines and tanks. And wow, DieStar calling the GG. What an ending to the game. Just a couple Marines in his main was more than enough to force the GG. He lost all of his units over here in this engagement. Unbelievable defense here from Killer. And that counterattack, again, just these few Marines is enough to deal with everything DieStar has. His economy was so shot because he pulled off almost half of his SCVs for that engagement. The fact that Killer was able to defend himself is phenomenal. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. It looks like Killer does win this best of 3 series here between the 2 players. As always, guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.